Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, and welcome to Day 6. This is officially Day 6 of Joystiq's Halloween horror streams. We have been, for the past week, streaming old school horror games every single day, and yesterday we did Resident Evil 2. The day before that, we did Quest for Glory 4. We've just kind of been bouncing around. And today we're going to one of the very first HD horror games made by Monolith Productions, released in 2005, right after the Xbox 360 came out. This is Condemned: Criminal Origins. And the man you see playing this game is none other than our features content director, Zav D'Amatos. Hello, Zav.
What's up? Time to kill some hobos.
Zav really hates these hobos, guys. And in fairness to him, the hobos are coming at him with crowbars.
I just realized that I can never run for political office now because you've said
It's
that.
over. It's just Zav D'Amatos hates the hobos.
If anyone knows anything about Zav, it's that he hates hobos.
Hey, no, it's not. You don't hate the homeless. That would just be monstrous. You hate hobos with crowbars. And in fairness, it seems that these hobos are already dead. Why are they covered with blood? I've never played Condemned. So you gotta give me the lowdown here, Zav.
This is a dystopian future after Obamacare has been in effect for many, many years. People are just covered in terrible joke. Yaddle says that this should be day 666, by the way.
Heyo. Yeah, that's actually true. Damn. Day the sixth sense, where Zav discovers that I've been dead all along.
It's the dumbest and greatest thing I've ever heard.
X-Cart Attendant, this is actually the Xbox 360 version. We were gonna be playing the PC version, but Zav was not able to get it to play nice with his controller, and he was having a little mouse trouble yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of... Oh, hobo. Oh, there's a hobo out there! Oh, and he's getting all in my face. Oh, and he just ran away, you jerk! Closing this door on you. You can't come in here. Yeah, Monolith games, we tried to play Fear at one point, but the way that my computer is set up, it's difficult for me to get a mouse and keyboard working right. Like, we tried to play X-Wing yesterday, and it was kind of a disaster.
Oh, really?
Well, because I have a flight stick, and it does recognize flight sticks, but because it's through DOSBox and because they don't really tweak anything, it's looking for a serial port, not a USB port. So I couldn't get it to work, so we were having a little bit of trouble, so we just kind of showed people that it's available and like some of the options. We went through a couple of like training missions and stuff. It was a quick, like 30-minute quick look. Hopefully we can do a little bit more with those games, I think, in the near future. But, so yeah, I wanted to play with a controller because it's just easier for my particular setup. My computer is... Oh, God! That's me freaking out.
That's how you know it's working.
Yeah, that's right. What? Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna snap your neck for sneaking up on me.
Oh, that's interesting. X-Cart Attendant says that the PC port is terrible.
I'm not surprised. PC port's probably terrible. Also, so I couldn't... You can map a controller to make it work, but it was just like, you know what? I have the 360 version, might as well.
Yeah.
Just rock it.
Oh, God. Why did you do that to that hobo?
Well, he attacked me, and he made me waste all of my bullets on that gun. I didn't even get to shoot him once. I don't even know what's going on in this story. I don't know. So
Well, to set everybody up, this is a Sega-published game, and it is an unofficial sequel to Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Oh God, that was the
after hobos take care of Billy Hatcher's giant egg.
Now you know what was inside the giant egg. It was just a bunch of angry hobos.
Just angry.
So who's the monster now, people? Is it really you, or is it Billy Hatcher? So I do know that the game starts with you investigating a crime, and then eventually your character, whose name I do not remember, because they do not say it. They did not say it in this level. No, they do say it, but they didn't say it in the second chapter, which is where I kind of started this run, or the third chapter, or I missed it. You are implicated in a murder. So now you were sort of on the run from the police, and you're trying to figure out exactly what happened because you did not commit a murder. And as we were saying in the pre-show, the way that you prove that you're not a murderer is by murdering many, many hobos.
Is it just hobos the whole time?
I like to think that it's probably not just hobos, but they just kind of look ratty. Which is probably a horrible thing to say.
Actually, all right. Susan Arndt, our Joystiq's own managing editor, says you're investigating a murderer, a serial murderer, and after you give chase, he takes your gun. And it turns out your name is Thomas, old Tommy, who was good friends with Billy Hatcher.
Condemned, starring Thomas Schulenberg. Let's do this.
It would be a very different game.
He'd just be so kind. Please don't kill me, hobo.
Excuse me, hobo. Why don't we settle this with a little Smash Brothers? Next time on Thomas Schulenberg, Criminal Origins.
Yeah, and so I guess the guy who takes your gun uses it in a murder and kills someone with it. But I mean, you're a cop. You could. Why didn't he just file a report? Hey, I got knocked over. My gun's gone. It was used. Like, yeah, I'll probably get suspended for that, but not get the electric chair, which is
because he only has that feature phone.
Oh man, I just got a shotgun, and I just shot a dude with a shotgun. Woo! This game is crazy. And I just kicked a health kit for some reason. You know how we do. You know what I love about this game too? Is if you press the in order to check your ammo, you need to look at your clip. It doesn't show on your menu. Like when you press Y, he'll like open up the gun and look and see if there's any shells in the shotgun, or he'll look and see if there's how many rounds are in the magazine, and then it'll show up in the UI. But it doesn't just show in the UI when you're using the gun or if you're holding it.
That's really that's very forward thinking.
Yeah. Oh god, that hobo has a gun himself. Hobo with a gun.
Yeah, I don't know if these are hobos. I think that these are just.
I'm gonna kick you to death. Oh, now what? Now what? What can I do? What can I do? I'm going to ram your face into the ground. Oh, I know. I rammed your face into my face for some reason. That was awkward.
Give him one of your very athletic kicks.
Oh, I kicked him to death. He done get kicked. Yeah, so this game, I remember it being not necessarily scary, but like it can get super tense because you don't know exactly what's going around the corner. There is one section of the game though where you are sort of in a mall, and all of a sudden, as you're walking, there's all these mannequins everywhere. And as you're walking around, if you turn around, like all of a sudden you notice the mannequins are getting closer and closer to you.
Oh, that's upsetting.
That is super upsetting.
Really upsetting.
And yeah, so that part of the game freaked me the hell out when I first played it. I was like, because at first you're like, okay, maybe they're just closer than I thought. And then they get super close, and then I think they form a ring around you or something like really crazy. It's not. This game has sort of a supernatural element to it. I don't necessarily remember exactly the whole thing behind it. Oh, there's a guy back there now, and...
Alright, X-Card Attendant is... Zev, you were just saying that you didn't really care for 2.
No.
But X-Card Attendant is saying that 2 had better tension thanks to things like a doll factory and a cabin in the woods. Do you find dolls creepy? This is like a horror trope that that doesn't really work for me. When it's like, and now, some scary dolls. It just, unless they are actual real-world American Girl dolls, which are horrifying, with their dead eyes. Like the horror movie doll doesn't really get me. Is that a thing that like actually scares you?
Not really. I mean, I remember growing up, my sister had Cabbage Patch Kids, and I always found them to be frightening. They just looked very strange. But then I remember also Garbage Pail Kids, which made me feel a whole lot better about the whole situation because it was hilarious.
See, now Garbage Pail Kids actually scared me.
Really? You know they're bringing those back.
Oh God, really?
Yeah. There's like a card game or something with them coming soon.
They freaked me out, and not just because of the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh,
Really upsetting.
dude, I could totally see your foot there.
See your hobo foot.
Here, I'm gonna flash my flashlight at him. You're not getting the point. All right, now we're gonna do this. Oh, you just got shot in the face. Sorry, I get very excited when I aim correctly in this, because bullets are scarce in this game. You find guns and there's like 2 bullets in it.
Yeah.
And so when you have the opportunity to rough some dudes up. Oh gosh, I heard someone breathing around the corner. I don't like this at all. I don't like this one bit, Anthony. Why'd you make me play this game?
You got it. You're okay. You're fine. There aren't any mannequins.
It's funny. I like, you know, Susan does a lot of like haunted house stuff, and I think that could be kind of fun. Is this guy still dead? I'm gonna hit him with the sledgehammer just to make sure. Oh wait, I just heard someone say something. Oh, he's behind me! Oh my god. Oh god. All right, that was a tense battle. Sorry. So Susan goes to like a lot of haunted house stuff, and I think that could be kind of fun. I just don't. I don't know anyone who would go. I would go with, and I think if I went alone, it would be doubly creepy.
Yeah.
So.
I, right there with you, man. I totally understand. There was this it's gotten a lot of notoriety, and I think like they actually have a location in LA now, but they started here in New York. But there is a haunted house series called Blackout.
Oh, wow.
And I've wanted to do Blackout since it started like 5 or 6 years ago here in the city. And the really cool thing is that I want to go with people, but Blackout forces you to go through alone.
Oh.
Like, you're not allowed to go through with other people.
That's not fun.
Zav, the waiver they make you sign
What?
is insane. It says, like, you must be willing to surrender your shoes and socks. You must be willing to crawl through small spaces on your hands and knees.
None of this sounds fun.
You must be willing to allow a stranger's fingers in your mouth.
What?
That is a
They must be joking.
Nope, it's totally serious. It's
That
totally
is
serious.
terrible.
And every time I've tried to go, like the only time that I ever convinced somebody to go with me, it was totally sold out, and we like waited all night for standby tickets, and they wouldn't let us in. But man, it's so cool. And like that's one where like I want to go with people, and if you do just show up by yourself, yeah, you're gonna be able to go through it by yourself, and that's how you're supposed to. But afterwards, it's like, what do you just look at like the person behind the counter and be like, well, thanks.
Part of the fun is going around and seeing other people's reaction. I remember my sister and I went to Niagara Falls once, and they have a lot of wax museums there. And there was one that was like this alien horror exhibit where it was just like different wax museums of all the aliens from movies. And about halfway through it, you're in this room with this glass tube, and there's like the classic gray alien, right? And then all of a sudden the lights turn off, and then these red lights come on, and this alarm goes off, and then this light shines on this glass tube, and it's been broken and empty. Like, it's this gimmick that they do. And you have to run through the entire thing in reverse order, and now it's turned into a haunted house.
That's so cool.
And I remember I was like 12 years old, and my sister, who's 6 years older than me, was steering me by holding she was behind me, grabbing my knapsack and steering me like a car. Because she was terrified, because she had no idea that was what was going to happen. And I remember nothing was scary other than the fact that she almost like killed me. But the only thing that scared me at the end was at the very end, this guy, you're in this white room, and then this guy in a lab coat like busts through the door. It's like, oh my god, you guys are okay. And that's the only thing that scared me. The jump scares always get me. And now I'm going to use this mannequin arm to kill a hobo.
See, it's funny. I always think that jump scares don't get me. And like, a lot of the time they don't. I recently played that PlayStation 4 exclusive horror game that like Sony themselves are making called Until Dawn.
Okay.
And like it's
Is that the one that used to be Move, or is Move?
Yeah, it's the one that used to be Move, and a PlayStation 3 game, and then they were like, no, to hell with that. Let's just make it a PS4 exclusive with regular controls. And it's got some like cool ideas. It's better written than a lot of games. It's like as good as a sort of C tier horror movie. Like the writing is better than Paranormal Activity, but but not quite as good as it's not like Jacob's Ladder or anything like that. But
it's not Casablanca. All right.
It's no Casablanca.
It's not the Citizen Kane of other movies.
When you're playing it, like every now and again, like you go to open a door. And like as soon as you open it, it's like the oldest school jump scare in the world. Like a ghost lady just like pops up and is like, "Wow!" And when I was playing, I was like, "Guys, come on! Like, no, you're not allowed to do like. You have to do better than the Tennessee State Fair haunted house."
That's a hard one to beat, though. To be fair, all that straw and hay. I mean, come on, who wouldn't be scared?
That's the one.
Again with
all
the
those
instincts.
Ghosts of old bluesmen. But like at the exact same time, I recently got to play Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is coming out next year, and that one actually like at one point I walked into a room and then just like from out of nowhere this guy with like a huge club comes out. It's like you playing this. You're just like, no! Oh God! What are you doing here? And the jump scare totally got me.
Yeah, I mean that can do it. In movies, it always hits me. The jump scare can hit me from time to time. Sometimes just the anticipation of it happening. That's why I think everyone has this feeling of the Blair Witch Project is scary because it shows you nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like that, and I think that horror movies, now it's just like torture porn. I don't like, the first Saw movie was pretty interesting, but like, they're not scary, they're just really gory.
Are we getting into horror movie analysis now?
Yeah. Oh God, Susan has joined the ranks of the movie critique.
I can only
out of haunted houses into movies.
I know. I wasn't here for the haunted house discussion, which we all know I could go off on. By the way, the doll haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights will change your mind about dolls, Anthony.
Really?
Oh my God, it was terrifying. It was so scary. There was just a room, like, the little ballerinas in music boxes?
Yes.
There was just a room of them. And some of them were, like, mannequins, and some of them were real people.
Oh, creepy.
That's awesome.
Yeah!
That's super creepy.
It was effed up.
But like that's not just like a ratty old doll with like smeared lipstick on it sitting on a table.
Yeah. And then there was when you came right in, there's this huge crib and there's a baby doll in it. And it's got this huge oversized head and you're looking at it and you're like, this is really odd. And it stands up and it's like a 6 foot tall man.
Whoa, what?
I'm like, nope. Ran.
How do you? I don't know. Yeah, you're totally into that stuff. So they have that stuff here, Anthony, too. At Universal, they do movie themed horror, like landscapes and all these like mazes and all these other things that are based on Universal movie properties. But yeah, no, I mean, I would go to it just to see what it's like. But I seriously, my girlfriend, she can't even watch. God, what was I playing the other day? I watched the first episode of Constantine.
Oh, that was creepy though. That was very creepy.
But it was like it was network TV creepy.
But it was network TV creepy, yeah.
And I was just and she just she was okay, but I was a couple moments I was like, you sure you want me to keep watching this? Because she's not a fan of that stuff. She does
not do horror well.
No, not at all.
This is why I love this game so much because I watch tons of horror movies, I read horror comic books, I watch horror TV shows, I play horror video games. So for one to actually disturb me kind of takes a lot at this point. It takes well-crafted, because there is a craft to doing horror really well. And Condemned still creeps me right on out.
It has its moments. I mean, like, I don't know if you heard us mention the part with the mannequins.
Oh, you mean the second scariest part of video games ever? Yes.
So I don't know if you had the same feeling, but when I was playing it the first time, it was like, wait, did these things move? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
And then you really notice it, and then it keeps happening, and you're like, I get it, video game, stop doing this because it's not cool.
What happened when I was playing that, I stopped. I like froze. Like I wasn't breathing. I'm like, something's gonna happen. What's gonna nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing's happening?
I feel like
Okay.
BioShock tried to do that a little bit with the God, what are the what is it?
Sander Cohen.
Yes, they tried to
Yes.
do a little bit of that, and I felt like this game though, it totally got me because it's the first time that happens. And maybe that's why I
Yeah.
didn't like Condemned
Yeah.
2 very much.
Condemned 2. So here's the thing. What happened with Condemned is people were like, hey, one of the things I really liked, and that one of the things that a lot of people really liked about this game, was that it took the emphasis off of shooting and put it on melee combat. So it was kind of that scarce resources thing. Like there's always something to pick up and hit somebody with, but bullets are really, really precious. Like you'll find a gun that has 2 bullets in it,
Yeah.
and that's it. And that was a major shift when this game came out. But what happened was a lot of people complained that the melee combat was a little mushy.
Yeah.
And so they tuned it up for Condemned 2. The melee combat is certainly better in 2. But then they had things like 4X combo.
That's the word. Why
Right?
would you have that? That breaks everything.
I know, exactly. So it's arguably a better constructed game. But it just totally pushes it on the horror aspect because of that. And the bear, don't even get me started about the stupid bear.
There's a bear.
So there's a sequence where you're in a cabin and this huge F-off bear starts chasing you.
Yeah.
Does it say 4X combo huge
It
F-off bear?
It is not. But there is only one right way to get away from the bear. And so it's a trial and error thing. So the first time you're running away from this bear, it is freaking scary. Like the third or fourth time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, wait, I take a left here and not a right. It's like, okay, let me just get the F away from this bear.
It's really interesting that you talk about like these like HUD things that cause the tension and horror aspect of Condemned 2 to diminish.
Mm-hmm.
And if that game had just been made literally 3 years later, you would have had sliders to turn all that stuff off.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff would have just been totally optional. That's so weird. Because it's just like a stylistic choice of that era.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were seeing that so much more commonly than you would now, and it's why like Condemned as something that came out in 2005 is so weird to have all this like no heads-up display stuff.
Yeah, it's very unusual. It was very unusual. And the thing that breaks my heart, like you see Zav's doing the forensic stuff. The forensic stuff in 2 was awesome.
Oh, what was different?
It's now here it's everything is kind of automatic for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like forensics light. It automatically picks the right tool. You don't really have to think too much about it. You just like, okay, here's your little thing, and you'll follow the trail, and boom. They really flesh it out a lot in 2. And then you'll have to figure things out. Like there will be a quiz, for want of a better word. Like, okay, so what does this evidence indicate? And that's really, really cool. I would love a game of just that because it was done so well. Like I wish that forensic stuff was in this game because it goes together much better.
It's not the same thing, but I think you're really going to like Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it's there. You know, the investigation stuff is sort of it's a little bit more automatic because you don't need to really use tools. You just sort of observe things, you find things, but you really have to look for them.
Okay.
Like very easy to miss. You know, it's not like Batman where all of a sudden there's just like it's like, well, I better turn on my goggles that put giant pointing red arrows all over the world.
I like goggles like that.
Yeah, it would make everything so easier.
I can't find my keys. Let me put on my goggles.
Time to go grocery shopping and make sure everything is blue except the fruits and vegetables that are highlighted in red that my wife asked me to get. But there are these portions in Vanishing of Ethan Carter where you have to string together a series of events as they happened in
Oh, cool.
in a crime. And it really does take real deduction of being like, all right, well, I see this in the environment, this in the environment, and it's really up to you to piece together what happened.
See, I like that.
It's cool. It's cool, and it's
tough to
scary.
do because not everybody, like, I understand why more games don't do it, because not everybody's brain works the same way.
Right.
You know, not everybody makes those mental connections the same way. I get it. I love it when it happens.
Yeah. Zav, what are you trying to do right now?
I was looking for a trail. I'm sort of following this fluid. I don't want to know what the fluid is exactly.
It's developer fluid.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't want to know what developers are doing, but all right.
Heyo.
Yes. Hi-yo.
Oh man, that hobo just killed the other hobo for me. Thanks, hobo.
Have you been looking for this game has some of the
Weirdest collectibles ever.
collectibles ever.
The dead birds. I found one of them.
The dead birds, yeah, the dead birds, and the shards of metal, which actually serve a purpose.
What do they do?
I just love
Okay.
that. Like, they actually do. Seriously.
Well, they really legit do. Okay, so at the end, the end boss that you have to fight, has a bunch of metal shards sticking out of him as armor, and the more you find, the fewer he has, and the easier he is to fight.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes, it is. Now,
Wow.
not that the game explains this to you.
Yes, that's the problem with it. It's like, man, that would have been great if I knew about it.
Yeah, it's like this nice little passive reward for all the obsessive compulsive gamers out there, like myself.
Yes. I actually remembered that one specific crow. There's one at the top of this building too that I sort of remember where it is. It's so weird how you just remember on odd little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following this developer fluid again.
It was a developer party. Yeah, you can tell this is most of the graphics hold up really surprisingly well, but the environments are so sparse.
Well, that's such it's a thing that Monolith was really obsessed with doing during that time, because Fear is the same way. Where
yes,
you have these
yes.
incredibly detailed environments that are so mundane
Yeah.
that it's you just get lost in them.
Yeah.
Fear is a factory shooter. I mean, you're just
Yeah.
shooting in factories.
Yeah,
There's
and
so
offices.
freaking boxes in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxes, offices.
Well,
But why
they
does
created.
every basement has to have a partially open body of water? Like, where are these basements?
What is leaking? Why is nobody fixing that?
It
we
seems
get
like a
maintenance
real
on that?
problem. It seems like a real problem, guys. Let's get this
does.
work done.
Somebody call the plumber. I see your problem here, miss. You got a bad case of video game basement.
The thing also that Monolith has sort of added those boxes. The reason why they added it to Fear is because their AI was tied to it. I remember when they showed that game off, and they were like, "Look, man, this AI is so intelligent. It will jump around these boxes." So you can there's videos of them like showing off these games, or the AI is just like rolling around the boxes, getting to cover. It's probably my favorite thing that's ever happened.
That's great.
It's so funny.
Susan, where are you in your Halloween horror movie extravaganza? Because I know you've been going down that rabbit hole pretty deep.
Yes, now I am. Now that we are in just a few days out from Halloween proper, now is when I get to the good stuff, the stuff that I know I love. So it's not a time for experimentation. Now is just when I go with the classics, the stuff that I know is gonna deliver.
I think you tipped me off to a couple of horror movies before. Do you have any like obscure favorites that you can throw out there?
Oh, obscure favorites. See, that's the thing. I never know what's obscure and what isn't, because I say things that I think are really, really well known, and folks haven't watched them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, so what is one that you think isn't like something that'll show up on a top 10 that you still think people should see?
Well, I'm a big fan of The Descent.
You and I was literally about to say, like, I think we have the same one. Because
Yeah.
The Descent is amazing.
It's genius. It's
Yeah.
genius. The one I think a lot of people overlooked, and I just watched it last night and was again impressed with how incredibly well done it is the remake of The Crazies.
Oh, I heard that's really good.
So good. It's so good. I mean, it's just a really well done movie. In addition to being a scary movie.
Yeah.
And that's how that usually happens. Like, the more attention you pay to actually crafting a good movie, the scares work a little better, as opposed to just like, oh, monster in a closet.
So
I want a monster in the closet movie that makes that noise.
yeah. I can't be scared of this monster. He makes such a delightful sound.
The Conjuring, super scary movie.
That's so funny. So, Susan, you and I were recently talking about the fact that I've never seen the original Halloween.
Yes.
Which is a huge glaring flaw.
Which is a crime against man. Yes.
Crime against man. So I was gonna watch it this past weekend, but my brother is coming to town this weekend, and now we're gonna do that. So
okay, great.
We're gonna do horror movies, big time.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna watch Halloween, and I've also never seen The Conjuring.
Oh, it's so good.
And people tell me that this is like, every single time I've seen a horror movie, like recently, like Insidious a few years ago, people are like, "Oh, it's so scary," and I was like, "This is garbage. This is a garbage movie."
I enjoyed Insidious. I thought it was well crafted.
It was just at the end when like it looks like they made a mini me of Tim Curry from Legend, and that's the demon.
Yeah. See, that's the problem I have with most supernatural movies is the representation of the supernatural force.
Yeah.
It's hard to not make it either look cheesy or cliche.
Like simplicity is almost always better. Like,
yeah, agreed.
That's why The Exorcist is still so scary this many years later, is that it's just slightly altering something that looks real.
So I just found an Xbox 360 in the
you
game.
Did. Yes, there are several.
Ah!
I've unlocked the Ripple TV achievement.
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
It's just an achievement. It's a collectible.
Do they modify the visuals? I feel like there was something in here that did that. Maybe I'm totally.
Does that 360 have a custom faceplate?
It does. It has a condemned.
Do not have custom faceplates. I loved the custom faceplates.
I like them too. I had a bunch of them.
Me too. My Alan Wake one, and my Viva Pinata one. Those were the two that I had on the most. Sirius 654, the Collector, is good. You are correct.
What is
that? Is a good one. It's your basic omnipresent unstoppable force serial killer, collects a lot of people, puts them in a house.
Okay.
It's that kind of scare fest. I just watched I really enjoyed it, but I understand why a lot of people might not. The Houses That October Built.
Wow, that's an awesome name.
It's a great name. And it's a found footage, and I'm a sucker for found footage. And a lot of people just don't like that to begin with. And it's extremely slow paced. It takes at least half the movie for scary things to start happening. But what I really like about it, so the premise is, a bunch of friends are getting in an RV, and they're looking for the best haunted houses in Texas and Louisiana. Cool. And are you guys familiar with the concept of extreme haunted houses?
No.
Okay, so
is
they're
similar to what Zav and I were just talking about.
Are those like haunted houses that just have a lot of Mountain Dew logos on them?
Exactly, and they BMX all over the place.
You're doing kickflips and stuff, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm familiar with it.
Shane Mosley is there going boo. So an extreme haunted house, there are established rules for haunted houses. For example, you are not allowed to touch the guests.
Right. We were just talking about this because I've always wanted to do blackout.
Whoa, what the hell just hit me? Oh, that guy just scared the hell out of me. Sorry.
So they're trying to find extreme haunted houses in Georgia and Texas.
Texas and Louisiana.
Texas.
So they go to some regular haunted houses, and they're fine. But while they're doing that, they're getting information about Blue Skeleton, which is supposedly this super extreme haunted house. So then stuff starts happening. People start following them. Somebody is in the RV filming them at night. But what you never know is is something really scary happening, or is this part of the haunt? And so that's the entire second half of the movie, and I really loved that. I thought it was great, but a lot of people might find it a little too slow paced. Why is that guy sliding across?
I don't know. I didn't want to say anything, but I was just watching him. I was watching it happen because it was glorious.
That is a well waxed floor. Is what that is.
They built this entire building on a slope. It was really poorly made. Also, this is a vegetable oil factory. Everything is just like, oh god, that guy just shot
That's
me.
what the developer stuff was all along. Just vegetable oil.
Oh wait, can you use the crowbar on it? Yes, you can. Nice. And it'll have like.
Oh, there's 4 bullets in it.
Wow.
Oh god, we're getting into a fight here.
So,
Oh, the bay is awesome. Serious. That is one of the best sound footage movies I've seen in a long time. The bay is really, really good.
and that's not supernatural. That's just
No.
like something bad in the water, right?
Yes, really good. I like my brand of horror that I like is stuff that is at least semi-plausible.
All right.
Like you could picture it actually happening.
Yeah. The thing that I like to go for is where things just are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like where the idea of plausibility is just completely thrown out the door
Oh, okay.
because you have absolutely no idea what's happening.
Okay.
Like that's part of why I love The Descent. Because The Descent takes this very, very real, natural fear of claustrophobia, and eventually it gets to a point where you're like, are there bat people? Or has she, like, gotten trapped in a cave and is going bonkers?
Right.
Which I love that. I love that. Spoiler, there are bad people. Have you ever seen The Descent 2, by the way?
It's terrible.
It is one of the funniest. It looks like they filmed it in the Chuck E. Cheese with all the lights turned off.
It's that bad. It's true.
Embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
I don't know if many people consider it a horror movie, but the most scared I've been of a movie in recent memory was the original version of Let the Right One In.
Oh, that's totally a horror movie.
That movie
Yes.
scared the crap out of me.
It's good. Actually, the American version is also quite good.
Is it? I was very reticent to see it.
It is. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Because the girl from Kick-Ass. What's that girl's name?
Hit Girl.
Oh,
Hit Girl.
That's not her real name.
Chloe something? Chloe
Yeah,
Martinez?
Not Carrie.
Mortez?
Chloe?
I think Chloe Mortez.
Yeah, that
Oh.
sounds right.
I don't
She's in it and she's amazing. So I think it's her.
Payoff in the original, like the end of that movie, is one of the best endings of horror I've ever seen. Like, straight up as good as like the ending of Exorcist.
Oh yeah, the ending of Exorcist is pretty.
I only caught up with chat right now, and Single and Loving It just added Extreme Haunted Half Pipe. Which, if they don't do that for the next Tony Hawk, I want the next Tony Hawk game to be a survival horror game.
I would play that. I would play it. I would love it. You're hitting people with your deck. I would love it.
Great. And you have to like do
Awesome.
tricks off of.
And you have to play it with that stupid controller.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
You have to do
no.
kickflip to survive.
That was terrible. I forgot that happened. No Vacancy. I didn't love No Vacancy. It's okay. I'd say it's a very solid mid-tier horror movie. Oh, eyes. Yep. Oh, look down. Look down. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, the middle piece. I got that.
Metal pieces. I forget I'm like 7 seconds behind you.
Let's go.
That's cool. That's cool.
I have absolutely no sense of like your physical progression through this place, Zev. I have like no idea where you are, how you got there.
It's pretty impressive considering how poorly Monolith designs some of their environments. That I know kind of where things are.
Well, God, they got better at that because the Shadow of Mordor environment is almost perfect.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, there's a lot of rocks.
Yeah, but like it feels so. It doesn't feel manufactured. Like when you
Okay,
actually
okay.
find these like encampments and castles, it's surrounded by natural formations that make sense.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's true. That's true. Yep.
and then
I
the
agree.
castles themselves are like the right size.
Yep.
Like this is all the space that they would need for this. There aren't the rooms that are clearly just there to make a fake video game place seem bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that. I love, man, ooh, I love those castles. They're so, and like God, whenever you get to those forts, they're built in such a perfect way, like where it's easy to get in, but when bad things start going down, it's so hard to get out.
Sunshine is another awesome choice. Serious.
Oh,
For
right, yeah.
single and loving it who like space horror, I recommend
Event
Pandora.
Horizon.
Event Horizon is horrible, but it is so gorgeous.
Hell is just a word.
It's terrible. It's really bad, but it is one of the most beautiful movies. It's just all such eye candy. But Pandorum, very, very good. Sunshine, also very, very good.
You know what makes Event Horizon a lot better? Is if you act like it's a sequel to Jurassic Park. The entire time.
And Sam Neill just forgets
Yeah, exactly.
that he.
Terrible dinosaur.
Yes, exactly. Sam Neill's he's just like, I had to get off Earth. Lawrence Fishburne said, come onto this spaceship with me and you'll forget all about those dinosaurs.
Sunshine's
Because
great.
Fire
That's
in Zero G is beautiful.
Sunshine's the one with Cillian Murphy, right?
It is. I just watched that recently. Very
Cillian
good.
or
Is that a
however
horror
it's-
movie?
It
Cillian?
is.
Really?
It 100 and Captain America's in it.
Oh. God, well, Cillian Murphy, I still love 28 Days Later. Still.
It's a classic
He's so good. Oh my God, it's so good.
with Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who.
Yeah, he is bad in that movie.
In the Mouth of Madness, that's one everybody always brings up. I do not like that movie. The effects don't hold up.
So that's the weird, like, late era John Carpenter,
Yeah.
right? And is it straight Lovecraft? Like, is it at the
It's-
Mountains of Madness? Or...
Yeah, it's just your base, and I'm not a Lovecraft person, so
Oh.
that's why it doesn't work for me. Yeah, the horror, like the practical effects horror, like Hellraiser. Ooh.
Have you seen the VHS series?
Let's see. I saw, I think the second one.
The first
That's the
one
most
was-
recent one, right?
No, the
No,
most recent
no,
one
there's new-
is. Oh God, this guy's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, what is happening?
Does he want your feature phone?
I don't know what's going on. I shot the guy and then it like teleported me to a new room. This is like I'm going. Speaking of. Magic. Oh, first person throwing up. Not since Breakdown has it been this HD.
Oh, Breakdown. God, that game is so good.
I gotta run after this suspect holding a bloody stump. What is going? Oh God, this is not a room. Where am I going? Climb through. Yeah, climb through slower. Do that. That's a good idea. Be slow about it.
Cirrus,
Dumb.
Reanimator rules. Yeah, definitively. Reanimator kicks ass.
That is true. That is completely true. Track down suspect because you are cop.
VHS. The first one I liked it a lot. The second one's a little dumb. I haven't seen the latest one, which I don't remember what it's called. Oh, here's a
Something
bird.
about it viral.
Oh
like-
yeah. That's yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. The Thing, please.
Oh, man.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
So I had never seen The Thing until last year.
What? I can't even deal with you.
I know.
I haven't seen The Thing. It's a classic.
But I saw it in the best possible way. It's the IFC theater here in New York doing midnight screenings of it.
Oh, all right.
And
Yeah,
like these beautiful cleaned up prints. And seeing that at midnight in a theater, like I bugged out when they were doing the blood tests.
Yeah.
I did
Oh,
not
man.
even know how to deal with it. That was so cool.
So good. So good.
Can we just be clear that like Kurt Russell is awesome?
Is smoking hot and I want to have his children? Yes.
And he's just turning into like hot old man too.
I know.
Like, he's
dude,
maintaining.
him in Stargate. Hello.
Right?
Yeah, like him and James Spader both in Stargate. It's like candy.
I don't know. James Spader lately looks like your Jewish grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, James Spader lately has not looked like James Spader of the
Honey,
80s.
why don't you ever call? I put on my.
He looks like your aunt from Paramus. Like, he's just not.
Just thinking about this the other day because of the whole Age of Ultron trailer. So back in the 80s, he was, super pretty boy, like, he was the guy from
Pretty in Pink, yeah.
that you hated, but he was so gorgeous. And then he was on Boston Legal. No, yes, Boston Legal, yeah. And he's kind like, he's gotten kind of pudgy, and his hair isn't quite as glorious anymore. And so that was his awkward phase. But now, like, I feel like he's really owning where he is in the chronology, and he's hot again.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is, like, in the Blacklist, they made him look dumpier than he actually looks in the first season, which I didn't quite understand. And, like, I wonder if that was, like, do they want him to seem, like, more fatherly, and that's why they're dumping him up?
Probably,
because, like, that's the only explanation I have.
I think they probably also want to emphasize he is not a physical threat.
Right.
But he's a threat just the same. You know what I mean? Because, like, everybody around him is this super vibrant physical threat.
Yeah. Peak sexy James Spader, Secretary. Come on.
I've never seen that.
Out to be kind of a failure. You still don't get it?
It's a family show. We can't talk too deeply about
Thomas?
Secretary.
Okay, then.
But yeah, Secretary, I will say that, like, Secretary is that's a movie that, like, James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal in that movie just are great.
I would go with Bad Influence.
Oh, good one. Yeah, absolutely.
If you have not seen that movie, chat, highly recommend that one. Not a horror movie, except in the... It's a horror movie in the sense... It's more thriller, I guess, of
Shame it ruined you at the bureau.
Getting into a bad situation and seeing how it is all happening and not being able to stop it. I do enjoy those kinds of situations. Oh, A Perfect Getaway is an excellent Halloween choice.
Prefer to die.
Oh, Rugby Bandit Audition. The
Audition.
No, Audition. Audition, I don't find scary. It's just another one of those torture porn movies.
And it's just gross. It's just gross. Like, I remember renting it with a friend, and we were being like, "Oh man, horror night," and like, especially just builds, and it's just like, this is gross. That's gross. This is really gross.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to eat this pizza. Now I'm gonna go for a walk.
Aftershock. Really good one. Again, not horror. I like environmental horror, where you are physically is a big part of the threat, which is one of the reasons why I like The Descent so much.
Yeah.
Aftershock, a bunch of Americans are partying, I want to say in Brazil. They don't speak the language, and there's an earthquake. Now they're in the middle of thousands of people, they don't speak the language, and bad things are happening. Go.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Great premise.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Zach, what are you trying to kill? You're in this burning barn?
I'm in this is the last level, I think. And I just wanted to show it because I remember that you get your finger cut off, and there's an extreme close-up of it, which is pretty rad. And I think this is past the...
But you haven't done the farm yet.
Oh, yeah, no, this is not the last level.
Yeah. I hated that freaking farm. I hated it.
This one's creepy, though, because this is sort of when the supernatural stuff really takes over.
Yeah.
In this game.
Pepper sandwich that conveniently square fire.
It's a 2x4. It's a burning 2x4.
I love how it's not at all damaging my arm by holding it.
No, it's toasty. It's toasty.
Well, yeah, your body's in shock from having your finger bitten off. So,
Spork Sand, these should just about everything I've brought up should be on Netflix Instant.
Or Amazon Instant, like if you want to pay like $1. They're pretty good about having a good selection of stuff that's like rentable for cheap, which I like. Susan, how do you feel about the Paranormal Activity movies?
Okay, this is really nitpicky.
All right.
Okay.
That's kind of why I want to bring it up. But okay, hit me.
The ending of the first one is amazing. It's incredible.
Okay, yeah, that's good payoff. That's good
But
payoff.
what bothers me about that movie, besides the fact that nothing happens for literally half the movie, is that his name is Mika. And she just keeps saying, Mika, where's Mika? Mika, Mika, what's wrong? Mika! Like, she just keeps saying it. She's like Jar Jar Binks, and it's driving, I can't. I just can't.
I never...
So much more nitpicky than I thought it was.
I know.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
Oh, God. See, like, I thought mine was nitpicky. Because, like, I know this is a strange thing to get hung up on with horror movies, but like, if a movie or a game or a book is going to actually scare me, the people who I am following cannot be morons.
Yes, I agree with that completely, yes.
They have to be believable, grounded human beings.
Yes.
And the people in Paranormal Activity are so infuriatingly stupid.
Yes.
That I can't watch these movies. I can't handle it.
No, that's fair.
When they're like, oh man, it's crazy when I look at footage of our Ouija board literally setting itself on fire so a demon can talk to us. Better stay the night. That is dumb.
That's one of the specific reasons why I really like The Conjuring. Because the people in it respond the way you would. You know, they do things that make sense. And I really appreciate that. Like, yeah, in found footage movies, the people have to act, A, they have to act like they actually know each other.
Yeah.
And B, they have to act like normal people.
Yeah. It's why I think Blair Witch Project was that people responded to it in such a profound way when it came out.
You know, if that came out now, though, it would not do well.
Oh no, it would do terribly.
Yeah, because it did super well because it was, well, I shouldn't say it was the first of its kind, but it was certainly the first of its kind to gain that kind of notoriety.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I mean, I understand the free-flowing nature of having it, most of it be improvisation. Mm-hmm. Because then you do sound more like people who are just hanging out, and you don't sound quite as artificial, except they just dropped F-bombs for like an hour and a half.
Right.
yeah. But like, as somebody who...
But that part in the tent, though, you know, when they're in the tent and then the children's hands are...
Yeah!
That terrified me.
Oh my God!
Terrified me.
Scariest scene ever!
For sure.
And the kids are laughing. Kids are the creepiest things ever. Again, I'm going to be a great father. But children are the most terrifying things in any of these movies.
That scene particularly in Blair Witch, like, it kept me up for like 3 nights in a row. I was so scared of that movie. And that summer I was 17. So like, you know, like I shouldn't be like hiding under the sheets point in my life. But I was still just petrified by this movie. And the weekend after it came out, I was having my high school graduation party. And I woke up in the morning and like I could hear people hanging out in the living room already. Like my girlfriend and like some family members were there. And I wake up and I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be such a good day. And I look just at the foot of my bed is a pile of rocks. And
no, they didn't.
My brother had snuck in to my room and made a pile of rocks, and I literally like fell out of bed. I was like, no, oh God!
That is both horrible and genius.
It's genius. I gotta give it to him. Like he He absolutely earned it.
And now you're scared of rocks. It's weird.
And yeah, now I can't even go outside. I cannot take trips to the mountains, folks. It's a real problem.
The Strangers is another big favorite of mine.
Is The Strangers recent?
It's the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Russ and I watched it together.
There's the people who have the funny masks, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I want to see that Rugby Bandit creep show. Hell yeah, creep
Oh, God,
show. Any movie that has scary Leslie Nielsen is...
Scary Leslie Nielsen.
Because scary Leslie Nielsen, you're like, come on.
Wait, which one?
Frank.
Which one is he? What's his story?
He's like a psycho who kills Ted Danson.
Wait, doesn't he? Yeah, but then Ted Danson comes back as a seaweed monster.
Right. No. No. Stephen King is the seaweed monster.
No.
Oh no,
Stephen
I got it.
King
Yeah, no.
Is
Stephen
the moss
King,
monster?
He's the moss monster, and then no, you're right. Ted Danson comes back.
Yeah, because he buries him up to his neck in sand, and then he has the TV so he can watch his lover.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you guys? I don't even know what it is you're talking about. I've never heard of this.
Are you not familiar with the movie Creepshow?
Oh, I've never seen Creepshow.
Oh, well, okay. So it's 84, I think. Yeah, and it's an anthology of short horror stories, and it's like this all-star thing. And in one of them, Leslie Nielsen finds out that his wife is stepping out on
Getting
him.
a little of that dancing.
Yeah, getting a little of that fine Ted Danson delivery. And so what he does is he buries them on different beaches up to their necks and has monitors set up so that they can watch each other, and then the tide comes in and drowns them both.
I'm getting killed by a ninja hobo.
A nimbo. I was gonna go with Ninjobo.
Ninjobo is so much better.
Oh, he just killed me. Damn ninja hobo!
Now I have my new favorite phrase. It's not delivery, it's dancing.
He really is a ninja hobo, isn't he? What is that about?
I don't know.
Hobos love swords.
Oh, well, yeah, totally.
I love that they don't beat around the bush. It's just like, quick cut, you're dead.
Yeah.
In case you hadn't pieced that together.
You know why you can't do anything else?
You did.
You did, son.
Because you did.
Look at this guy running away from me. Oh, let's go get a piece of wood. How come I can't just grab a piece of wood? Well, I can pick up predetermined wood.
Well, yes, that's true, yes. Predetermined with random pieces of wood.
Can I kill it? Can I do something this way?
I will say, as much as I love this game, and it's one of my favorite horror games of all time, it loses it in the last third. Like, it is solid for 2/3, and its last third is weak.
Man, that's the most common pratfall of all games. I think is sticking the landing is very, very difficult.
I just don't know that it needed to be supernatural. It could have just been creepy.
I agree.
Monolith is a little bit like Crytek in that respect, where it's like they have a really good idea and then they add aliens, or they add, you know what I mean? Like, it was funny. I was talking to the guys at Crytek, and I guess this isn't the case anymore, but Homefront was going to be like their first in-house developed game that didn't have aliens in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, what was the? I mean, you're not if you don't count Rome.
Rise.
Or
I was just about to ask:
Rise.
Are there aliens in Rise, Son of Rome?
Well, no, but there's supernatural elements in that game. If you get to the end.
Really?
Yeah.
In Rise?
What?
Oh, wait, are like Roman gods type supernatural?
Yeah, it's like Roman god stuff. I mean,
Oh,
like,
that doesn't count.
the game came out a year ago, so if I ruined it for anyone, I'm sorry. But like, that's how. Oh yeah, what? Ninja?
Yeah.
You be dead now.
That's what's going to ruin Rise for them, honey, is knowing the ending. Yeah. not the crappy gameplay that leads up to that.
Burn!
You know what? I had to suffer through reviewing it, so I'm telling everyone.
You did. Bless your heart, man.
People still try to tell me that game is good. It's not.
They try to say Knack is good, too.
No, that's true. Knack is a terrible
Knack
game.
is not good.
Bad. It's bad. Sorry. My heart goes out to everybody who really wants to love that game.
Like, here's the thing. Like, okay, I respect that different people have different experiences with games, right? Like you can, like I think The Evil Within is a terrible game. If you tell me you enjoyed it, I get that, I respect that, and I can understand that, even though I think it's a terrible game. You come at me and you tell me Knack is awesome, I'm just telling you you're nuts. I don't even see how you can tell me that you love that game. Like, not hate it? Okay, I can get it to not hate it. But love it?
I mean, anyone's free to be wrong about something. So,
The thing I take great comfort in is for every game out there is someone's favorite game.
Yeah, that makes me happy. Yeah, like, even something like the most dreaded of dreaded games, like, you know, your Superman 64s, somebody out there loves it.
And unironically.
Yeah, it is a foundational text for them.
I mean, even when I said that I didn't like Condemned 2, someone in chat was like, "I'm sorry, but that game's great."
Right. Yeah.
And that they're totally. I mean, listen, this is America. You can be wrong all you want.
I enjoyed it. It was not the game I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
If you took the name off it, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Pontypool, serious? Okay. That is a movie which has a really incredible idea, and it just spends like 2 hours just kind of masturbating all over the place with it. It's just...
I think it's developer fluid, okay?
It's developer fluid, yes.
That, I believe, is the perfect note to start winding this down on. Everybody, it's now 5 o'clock, and that brings us to the end of Day 6 of Halloween Horror Games. Come back tomorrow. We will have more of this action.
What are we doing tomorrow?
We are doing Rule of Rose.
Oh.
Danny Cowan and I are doing the Rule of Rose, and
Oh, that'll be a thing.
I will go as far as to say as it is easily the weirdest horror game that we could possibly play. I thought about doing the Path, and the Path is just, it's too slow.
It is. It's too slow.
It's too
and there's
slow.
a lot of repetition in it.
And it's too random. Like, you can't rely on anything
Yeah.
happening in the Path. So we're gonna do Rule of Rose, and Rule of Rose. Hey, everybody, I encourage you to tune in, because both the content of the game is terrifying and the way it plays is terrifying.
Fun run.
Yeah, oh god, it's there is a button to follow a dog. Follow the dog. It's the worst. Anyway, after that though, we're streaming the Master Chief Edition for Xbox One. So if you guys want a look at what it's like to play super fancy Halo 2, we'll be doing that. So that starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to stream through into the evening. And if you want to get a little bit of a reminder that those things are happening tomorrow, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Search for Joystiq with a Q. It's JOYSTIQ. You'll find us, and follow us here on Twitch. We do this every single Tuesday and Thursday reliably at 4 p.m. But we're tricky. We're tricky things, and we air a whole lot more often than that. And
Sometimes we just get in a mood.
Sometimes we just need to do this.
We do.
We need to exercise our demons, folks. But yeah, we will see you tomorrow. Susan, thank you for joining us for the horror movie discussion, because your expertise is always welcome.
Oh, thank you for letting me talk about this stuff. I bore people's senses with this stuff, but I just love it.
And Zav, thank you for just killing all of those ninja hobos. You had a real ninja-ho problem, but I think you've taken care of it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll see you